What is going on, guys? It's Jake. We're back again for another YouTube video. As you guys can see, we have the engine here, and I'm very excited for this one because this is going to be the last video before we are actually dropping the engine in the car. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get the TGVs on and torqued down, and also we have a couple special low profile AN fittings to go on our valve cover breathers that are going to go in between the TGV, just like our harness that we ran in the previous videos. So if you guys saw that, we got the custom harness still on the engine. Also, we have the fuel lines, the breather hoses, the injectors, the TGVs, and the fuel rails all to go on this engine before we actually put it in the car. As you guys can see, I've actually already made up the fittings here. These are actually Fragola, and these are the only fittings on the market that I could find that would clear the TGVs at stock height. Now, obviously, you guys could put a spacer in between the TGV, like a phenolic spacer, but I didn't want to have to do that because it's just another place where it could potentially leak. So we just went with these. They seem to be really good quality, and they should work fine. So let's go ahead and get these TGVs on, and then we'll work on getting the injectors on and getting the harness all plugged into all the sensors. And yeah, hopefully this is the last time we have to do this stuff. So super excited. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, because it'll really help out the channel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get the fuel rails and injectors on the TGVs, because they just got back from powder coat and we wanna get those on before we actually torque them down to the engine. And then we'll go ahead and take this blue tape off. We'll put the gasket under there and we will go ahead and torque these down. One thing I will mention is I got some bolts on eBay. These are monster bolts, and the thread is, I believe, M8 by 1.25 or 1.5, not quite sure. But yeah, they're the correct thread and the correct length. So that'll give us some contrast on the red powder coating. So I'm super happy with how that's gonna look. Let's go ahead and get these fuel rails and injectors on the TGVs, and then we'll catch up with you guys after we have them torqued down. Alright guys, so quick update. I actually ended up torquing down the TGVs and forgot to realize that this thing has a sequence that it kind of has to go together in, because all this stuff under here is very tight, and if it's not put together in the correct order, then it just won't be able to be put together. So I had to take back off my fuel rails to get this breather fitting underneath the TGV. But as you guys can see, it looks really, really great. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten down this AN fitting now. to where it's going to be right in the center of that TGV there. And we already have all of our sensors plugged in, new coil packs, all plugged in, cam sensor, injectors, everything like that. So we're going to do the same thing to this side, and then we'll catch up with you guys when we get done. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so now that we have both of the TGVs bolted down and the AN breathers tight, and they're going through there nice and right, everything looks good. We're gonna go ahead and put our block equalizer lines on here. So this is gonna be the rear valve cover AN fitting right here. And I still have them loose because I'm gonna put everything on and then tighten everything up. Then after we get these on, we'll go ahead and put the 8AN PTFE fuel line on. All right, so we got these breather fittings on for the center of the block. The reason why I'm going into so much detail is because I get a lot of questions as to what the breather setup looks like. So here's what we got. We have a 90-degree fitting going to another 90-degree fitting going to the center where there is a T, and that is exactly how it is on both sides. So you can see the 90-degree and the 90-degree. So got everything tight and right there. Now let's go grab our fuel lines. You guys saw us make the fuel lines in another video. If you guys didn't see that, I'll put it up here. But we're gonna go ahead and get them on here. And then that's pretty much all we can do before we put the engine in the car to figure out where everything else lands. So let's go ahead and get that stuff on here and get it done. So we just got the fuel lines on, and I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out. There is gonna have to be some maneuvering once we get in the engine bay. We figure out where everything kind of lands, but we have everything sitting in here pretty good. Like I was telling you guys in previous videos, it's just extremely hard to keep these Subaru engines clean. We did the best we could with these AN lines, but it's still, I mean, you know, it's still not as good as some engines are. Just the platform itself isn't capable, but I'm really happy with how it turned out from the side. Everything's really tucked in. The only line you're gonna see once it's in the car is this one right here that plugs into the body harness. So that's pretty good. Everything's looking good. So this is actually gonna conclude the video for today, but just got this final assembly done of everything that goes on the engine. Now you guys can see why I kind of wanted to do this before the engine was in the car, because everything, you know, it took a while to get all this on here properly, and I would be bending over the car a lot, and anybody who has done that knows exactly how I feel. So we're gonna go ahead and conclude the video here. If you guys like the video, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button. We'll be dropping the engine in the car next video, and I'm so excited for it. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll be back for a new video soon. Peace.